2018 GSL Season 2 Codes Overgrowth.
Here we go. Here's the good part of the song. See, that's how you know this show is cool. Okay?
It's that moment.
Everybody got chills right when that happened. Like, God, StarCraft's good.
Well, we just had what I consider an upset. I think most people, especially Dark, considers an upset.
Yeah.
Classic
Dark is
killing
upset.
Dark 2-0. I think that turns the group completely on its head. Ignore everything I said previously. There's no telling what the hell is going to go on now. Trap versus TY. This is
a very tough one because
Yeah.
Trap really trips up a lot of good Terran players. Like, TY is good, and I think especially in like big series, he's probably one of the scariest players because he's someone who absolutely downloads his opponent as each game passes on. But here's the thing, Trap doesn't care about that because he has to do a best of 3.
Trap is like
Trap's the Mad Hatter.
the Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
Explain.
You know the Mad Hatter
Yeah.
from Batman? Not from the. I'm sorry, I just
Okay.
realized I forgot. We're not on the
I was
same
thinking
Batman
of
page.
Alice in Wonderland.
No.
Okay.
No. He's definitely not at a tea party. And
Yeah, I'm like, what is this reference?
no, never mind. No, he's somebody. He's like,
Sure.
if he was a villain, he's always creating. He's like, you'll never find all the bombs in time, Batman.
Yeah, I get
One of
you.
those kind of guys.
All right. Now TY, this is a guy that like is a little bit on and off. Like he'll either be the best player in the world or he'll just kind of go quietly in the round of 16.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what form his TVP is in right now. I do know he's been practicing at the corner house a little bit in the past days. So definitely taking this seriously, preparing hard, getting ready. This Trap is no slouch.
No.
This guy
No,
is
he
like
is not.
legit good. This is someone who can just win a GSL, in my opinion.
Yeah.
His level's like right up there with everyone else's. Just no one talks about him. But everyone's talking so much now about how no one talks about him. I guess he's being talked about, isn't he?
We've gone full circle. All right.
Yeah.
This is match 2. Let's go.
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap.
Ooh. Big cheer in the audience there.
Splice. TY.
Tasteless,
What's up, man?
do you remember the first match that you casted of Trap?
Not really, no. Do you?
I do remember the first match that you casted of Trap. It was against Hydra in the GSL Avertech Intel Classic.
Oh my God.
That TVP on Destination where Hydra left like 8 tanks out in the map.
Yeah. No, I do remember.
Trap
Oh my God.
killed him, then killed Hydra.
I totally forgot about that.
Go back and watch that VOD, guys.
I was actually thinking about StarCraft 2 stuff, and like,
Yeah.
I would say out of all the people I've casted, Trap's definitely one of the players that kind of snuck up on me. You know, sometimes we cast somebody and we end up never casting them again. And
Oh, totally. And like, yeah, that was, as I recall, Hydra was actually in a pretty good spot and then kind of screwed up with his tanks.
that's what Hydra did, man. Hydra was generally in very good spots, and then something went wrong. Someone did not do the most textbooky thing, and you know,
Who'd have thought, though?
suddenly his hair was on fire.
Many, many years later, here we are. And from the 6 to watch TY Ank. What is, I don't know what that means, but welcome.
Welcome. Yeah, man. Well, TY is like the man crush of every Terran player.
He should be.
You know?
He's like generally the smartest Terran.
Yeah. Terran
Tactically
players
the
are
best
like,
Terran.
oh, that was really smart by TY.
Yeah.
You know TY? Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah. It's like he's not known for the macro of innovation or the micro of beyond. But, like intelligence-wise, the way he conducts himself within the game strategically and tactically has been the best. The thing is, Maru has passed everyone at everything during this little period that we're in right now. So it feels weird to try to describe the other horsemen because I'm like, well, his macros is good or better than innovations, and his micros is definitely better than Beyond's, and he's easily as smart as TY. It's like this really weird thing, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like we just have this superhuman Terran at the moment.
Oh no, the Reaper might actually get away here. Okay.
Yeah, well, look at that.
Nicely done here. Even sent the SCV in on the odd chance that the Reaper was overchased and the SCV is going to get in there.
That is a magnificent Reaper, actually. He's having a really hard time catching it.
Well, I totally get why TY scouting Trap so hard. And Trap, one of the things that's scary about Trap is, even though it's sometimes hard to predict him, he has some great straight-up play. Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa, a factory right out there. Okay, cool.
Well, I would imagine this is just going to be Cyclones. We've seen TY do this occasionally in this matchup.
You got to keep in mind as well is that Trap's not the only Protoss in this group, right?
That is very
There's
true.
Classic here as well. These are, I would say, two fairly different Protosses. Both really scary, both really solid.
Yeah, they're both really good at PBT, but I would absolutely put Classic above Trap.
Right, and
I
so
think Classic is easily the best.
So to expand on that, I think that what he's doing is he's coming out with a solid build that might blindside Trap here, that there's no way that he has to worry about Classic getting any further information on him.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what makes the GSL group so interesting, is that you got to be ready for a bunch of different matchups, or possible matchups, right? Possibly having a rematch. That can happen too and still get out of the group. By the way, there's that Reaper, man.
Kind of funny building placement there. The two gates not wall on that left side.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is it's kind of interesting. This is hard to scout, obviously, because there is that proxy factory. TY has done this before, but it's been a while. I'm trying to remember the last time. Maybe it was Katowice or something that I saw him do this last. But
okay, great job here by Shine. Just getting confirmation that that Oracle didn't fly over that factory.
Oh yeah, the one out in the map.
Yeah. Because there's actually a chance of that happening there.
Is he just going to kill him? I think so.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, hold on. He might not have seen the Cyclones, but he saw the SCVs pulled.
Yeah.
So he should know what's coming.
Well, that's funny. He's like, well, if you're leaving, there must be a Widow Mine in here. Nope. Trap is really fooled right now.
Yeah.
Really fooled.
Okay, he's coming out.
Dude, this is not going to go well.
Trap has to brace for impact, but I think even if he handles this perfectly, it might still be a problem. But let's see how TY controls this.
Okay, this is scary. Even with that one Hellion, I was like, what is this one Hellion all about?
Yeah,
but
well, I think it's
probes being pulled.
Just a mask, too. Can you see the one Hellion? You're not going, you're going Cyclones.
Yeah.
Okay, so he tears down the gateway. This allows the SCVs to get it even further here. We might see a second bunker put down.
Oh, man. Look at this damage going on.
Oh, my God. And you know what? That getting that one Cyclone trap didn't actually even help that much. Is the Oracle going to be able to take down enough? Now, there are some Marines, but he may be pushed back. You know what? He's just going to do it.
Yeah, it seems like he's just going to kill everything.
It's like one of those two Dragon Ball Z beams hitting each other.
Yeah.
It looks like it's even, and then one just overpowers the other.
It's a very, very odd-looking fight. I mean, all the shield batteries are definitely making it seem like there might be a chance, but I don't think that there is, man. These Cyclones are just dealing so much damage, being repaired so quickly.
GG. That does it. TY wins game one.
Okay. Trap, he just got completely blindsided there. And this is one of the great things about TY. He has a gigantic bag of builds that he can use, and he just fishes one out like that. It's like, okay, proxy factory Cyclone. If you are trying to do things like take a quick third base off of an Oracle and a couple of depths, well, you're going to be punished.
Man, great start here by TY. And that's frustrating for Trap because Trap's a pretty methodical player, but Trap never got to do whatever he practiced. Let me tell you something. When you are trying to get ready for a major match, you have certain builds you're going to use on certain maps or against certain players, and someone pulls the rug out from under you. You come out there and
that's actually an interesting concept. We talk about it a lot, like being able to play the game that you prepared for.
Right.
But actually, I hope there's no proxies, because I want to talk about that more in this next game on Backwater.
We might be jumping into that in a second. Actually, there may be a delay. It looks like something's wrong with Trap's computer. So maybe we will have time to actually talk about that. Go ahead, Artosis.
All right, so you said, you didn't even get to do what he practiced for. And again, this is kind of an interesting concept because I guess what you practice for, there's a few different ways you can look at it. If you're just practicing like standard play, that's almost in a way like most of your practice will come down to whether or not your opponent played in the actual match a more standard game so you can play your standard game, right? So like when you do something like this, all the practice Trap had, did he practice against that build at all? He didn't? Okay, well, that sucks, right? You really didn't get to do it. I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, I mean, well, you think you're playing one game and then you get totally clowned. You're playing something completely different. We're trying to get whatever Trap needs fixed, and we'll be jumping into this as soon as possible. You got to respect, these guys need to have everything set up exactly, perfectly, or
maybe Sound issue, I'm sure. That seems to be what it is.
That's usually what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to have your setup.
Yeah.
Remember Day 9 used to bring his actual computer chair?
Yeah.
Sean would bring his computer chair to tournaments.
He one-upped me. I used to bring cushions to make myself the same height as my home computer chair.
Yeah, you used to bring a bunch of phone books because a lot of people don't know that you're actually like 5'1", which is too bad. He's not 5'1".
Yeah. It's 5'2".
5'2", and growing. No, it's important, though. You got to make sure that everything's perfect, or you're not going to be able to play, to where you need to be. But in all seriousness, I do think Trap is probably going to be a little bit tilted by that loss. And everything's going according to plan right now for TY.
Yeah.
TY brings that build out, robs TY whatever game he wanted to play, and assuming that he does advance, and he might not still, but let's pretend that he does. Well, he's going to go up against Classic, which is another Protoss player.
Yeah.
And I think if he just has a wide array of good builds and he pulls off what he wants to try to do, maybe he gets out first.
Yeah, I mean, it can occur. I think Classic, especially watching what TY's doing here, I guess that game didn't give anything away, but Classic is really a beast in PvT. So it's a tough road to TY getting first, but we will see. Backwater is our next map, and that's generally considered a very good map for Protoss versus Terran. But I got to say, I think it was Maru that we saw play here, where it was just brilliant play, where he was like, okay, I take a quick third, I go into Liberator range and take a fourth, I'm not moving out, and we saw like, it was Patience, who was like, remember, he was like warping in Zealots on the side. He was like waiting. He was like, aren't you going to move out? Like, aren't you? Terrans move out. Terrans harass. And Maru's like, no, not here.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because he just stayed back and kept getting bigger
and
bigger.
It doesn't work on Backwater, right?
Yeah, and you can see the Protoss is getting ready to try to jump in and attack here. And it's like, no, man, I'm just defending. And, we're starting. All right, we're good to go. Game 2, Trap versus TY.
Specifically on that point, right? Like the way Maru played. Hold on, who's this guy?
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot.
Yeah.
Thanks, voice in the sky. But yeah, like generally, I reserve it for TY to be like, damn, that's brilliant. That's just like how you should do it. But I feel like Maru did that here.
Splice. TY.
So again, back kind of circling around to what we've been talking about, the attributes of these Horsemen of Terran. The TY, I'm so interested to see if he plays like that, right? There's like 3 ways he can play. He can do a cheese, he can play like Maru, or he can do something else. Okay? Those, in my book, those are the 3 things we can see here. Does he line up with Maru more, right, where it's more of a passive macro game? Does he just all in because he's like, screw this map? That's reasonable as well as doing it like Maru did it, right? And then, of course, there's like TY playing it differently, which would mean that the other smartest Terran has an idea. And how does that look?
TY, though, maybe I almost underestimated him coming into this group. I guess we'll have a better idea after the next few games, but I've been so excited by Classic lately. And, of course, Dark is always pretty good. And Trap, even though I don't think he ever quite gets the acknowledgement that he deserved, because maybe there's just been other Protoss players that have accomplished a little bit more, but his games look great.
I think Trap is going to be making up for that deficit coming up here pretty quickly.
Oop, it's going to try
not this season, but over the next few.
I just don't feel like Trap's a player who's like really done growing yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen the best of Trap. Like Tasis, I've seen the best of you, man.
No, it's all downhill from here, man. This is it.
We're on the downhill slide at this point. Trap, though, nah.
No, I'm curious though to see how much more success he could have. I loved his. It was a while back, but his match against Neeb over at Spo, that was a great.
Oh yeah, the Vespa Cup.
Yeah, and I think he was kind of the Neeb was, I guess, as well. Even though it was so hyped that he got there, kind of the unexpected pair to have in a finals. But
absolutely,
he went through a lot of good players to get there. Okay, so the probe does come in here and scout. Now on this map, you basically get your third for free. There's only one spot you really have to defend from, but this can end up being something a bit confusing where one player will assume the other player takes a third no matter what, and then there's some weird timing attack coming up. So you see a lot of times where they're trying to make sure they can scout and get confirmation.
Gets 2 probes. One was the scout probe, actually. Okay. But loses one to the Reaper. So that's a little bit rough, but okay.
So the Adept's going to come forward. He might try to shade in and peek again at the third, or try to shade into the main. We have a Starport on the way now. So nothing at all like what we saw in the last game.
The one thing
So far, at
we
least.
can say, though, is that he made a single Hellion just like last game, which is
Yeah.
odd. You don't normally see a single Hellion sitting there on defense.
But I think
so. This could prime Trap into thinking it's a sim build.
Yes, exactly. I think this is all.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny. It's almost like you can treat an entire best of 3 or best of 5 or best of 7 as a build, like a giant, drawn out build. Because he gets that one Hellion, which is seems to lend itself a little bit to like, are you making a bunch of? Are you going to rush me? Are you making a bunch of Cyclones? Because that's what happened last time.
Yeah.
Now there's also one Cyclone coming out here, which may also trip up Trap here.
Yeah, and he's getting a tech lab on his start.
But if the
board. So is
Cyclone's
that
out far enough,
Banshee?
see, look,
Yeah.
he might. Okay, never mind. The Banshee does. I'm sorry, not the Banshee. The Oracle does tag the factory.
Yeah, and I think that's a fine conservative play.
Yeah.
But he has hidden Cloaked Banshee and another Barracks. So what he tagged looks pretty normal. He just takes the third base. But TY has something else planned here. He's still not making a Banshee. That has to be a mistake. Oh, he's supply blocked for 1,000 years. Wow.
Ooh, that's not good.
Jeez Louise.
Okay, well, he's freed up now, but we still don't see it. Wait, what?
Wow, it didn't even get scouted. I think it's because he was supply blocked for so long that he has to cancel. It's just like, okay, any timing to do this is gone. The Banshee would have already been out. When Cloak is done halfway, there's a Banshee out already.
Right,
And
it's
it was
like
there,
2
and it's
Banshee
like, well...
build times for the Cloak or something like that. So
right around.
when the Banshee gets over there, it's supposed to happen quite quickly. So maybe he did make a small mistake, and he's just shifting gears.
I think so. And that's
Actually pretty impressive in of itself, because a lot of players, they just stick with what they had planned out, and
Totally.
it gets a little bumpy.
This guy's got more experience than just about anybody. So if anyone, especially with his kind of billing as being such a smart Terran player, good to see him think on his feet here, making his third command center right now. Nice scout there by Trev. Wow. Okay, I'm mildly surprised that he actually finished the shade.
Yeah. Well, I think he should be able to get out with all 3. No.
Oh.
I don't even know why I put myself on the line there. I'm like, yeah, he's going to get away. It's like, no.
I don't think so. Every time I do that, I lose my adepts. I mean, he's better, but like, there's not that much room back there.
Okay, he's once again denied. Ooh, that would actually be a great pickoff if he could get that Widow Mine. Yeah. Because this army's moving out. There's not actually that much to defend here. It's 5 more gateways on the way. We see attacks being upgraded as well as Blink.
That was nice. Forced a little force field there. Yeah, I don't think that TY can actually do anything with this. With all these gates finishing up, Blink and +1 are going to be done. There's like some shield batteries around. Looks like even some defensive cannons. Doesn't seem likely to me, especially with another tag coming up. Look, if you got that stuff tagged and you do damage, this Protoss shouldn't be in the round of 16.
Ooh, the Oracle's ready over here. We see an unload, which should be just in the vision here. Of Trap.
Yeah, he's got a tag on it as well, so...
Oh, excuse me, yeah, he does. So, the Phoenixes are coming up.
Lures him into a mine, that's kind of nice.
Phoenix comes up. All right, he sees now with the drop coming in over here. It doesn't seem to be that much, and actually getting the Cybernetics score is not a bad kill. You can see Trap already remaking it here in the upper left.
Okay, well, just utilizing Blink a little bit here. Forces those defensive links so he can get out with the medevacs. I'm surprised he's staying this long and doing this much. That's why he was doing it. Okay, because I'm like, Trap shouldn't, Trap did not even defend that well, to be honest. But it was well enough, right? It was never going to do a lot.
It's so hard to actually really pull out a lot versus someone who's got Blink like that, right?
Yeah.
But he's decided to merge up his army, and he's pushing into the front here, but this army's already chopped up. There's more in the back. Now Trap has confirmation that this whole thing is going to be pushing towards him right here in the front. I don't know. Is this too ambitious here for TY?
No, he's not going to. Well, force field's coming down. He's got Blink. He's got a shield battery there as well.
He's continuing to reinforce. The Stalker number is so ridiculously high.
Yeah.
He tags that perfectly.
Great tag.
And I feel like, Trap is just going to tear this apart.
I'm surprised TY stayed out there that long.
Well, when you see that many units and you've already lost that much.
Yeah. You're being tagged the whole time.
Especially when you consider, for instance, we saw that the moment TY was late on the Banshee, he canceled and switched builds.
Yeah.
that's kind of the same idea as if you're not doing that much damage, you need to turn around. You don't just keep committing to something if it's not going well, but...
I think the very initial thing, because he did load up 2 more medevacs and try to go for the third, I liked it, but Trap had a great split, and from there it was like, yeah, there's, like, he has Blink, he has +1, he has Force Fields, he has a shield battery. Shouldn't be able to get anything done. He didn't really, but did he get behind from that? I don't think so.
Well, he's still growing.
Actually, he might have even killed the sentries there. Didn't he? Yeah, I guess he did.
Well, yeah, it looked like at the end of the fight, it was just Stalkers remaining.
But, I mean, did that get TY closer to his goals? I'm not so sure.
Okay, so TY, good defense there. The Warp Prism doesn't do any damage. Now, Trap is expanding further. I don't see anything coming out from TY. In fact, TY might just want to try to push again. You know, he is getting good upgrades. His army is going to get more sophisticated with these Liberators coming out.
I think he needs a big clump of Liberators if he wants to be able to actually do something here.
That, especially with Psystorm coming up here as well.
Yeah.
Psystorm is really where Terran can get punished for trying to battering ram their way through some of these bases. Like, the Protoss is absolutely fine staying back and just chucking out a few Psystorms.
Yeah, and there's no Ghost Academy as far as I know. You can utilize Psystorm against lots of Liberators. It definitely can be a useful thing. But there you go. Okay, he's actually kind of pulling back and doing the 3 base Liberator range. And with the amount of Liberators he's making, there's no way Trap's really going to break him.
Trap trying to press it, but yeah, there's really nowhere to push.
Yeah.
You know?
With all those mines in there and stuff, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that would be a huge mistake. But, you know, the pressure has been kept on. He is keeping TY honest. And Trap's growth rate has continued to improve here as he's acquired that 4th base and is reaping the benefits of it now.
And look, he's going into Colossus Tech as well, which is definitely going to be very good in this type of situation. You want to add that additional set of splash damage. But Liberator range is going to be out pretty soon. And obviously that's going to be really, really helpful. If he can get into position with that, that's how you just win games as Terran.
Okay, so a big warping of Zealots over here. Didn't seem to do too much damage, really. You know, I don't even know if that was really necessary for Trap to try to do.
Yeah.
Just because Terran's not moving out.
Yeah, he's just sitting there turtling. So, and he's not even on 4 base.
We've seen no attempt at a 4th base. It's not like Trap's come in there and swiped at it, and now we have it finally being taken. But it's almost like he was hoping that he could attack into a 4th base with that Warp Prism warping in at the 3rd.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was nothing there, and TY's just staying back. I think he made a little bit of a tactical error early on with those drops and lost a little bit too much, and he basically pulled all the way back and is now in really good shape macro-wise, and it wants to bring this into a late game, and we're going to see how Trap can handle that.
Well, he's got to continue to posture on the map, especially as these Colossi come out. TY is about to have Liberator range. He has a ridiculous amount of Liberators, and he's really quite fantastic at repositioning Liberators. This is like one of his superpowers.
We see these little infantry units one by one coming out. He's trying to get any little scouting he can on here because where that sensor tower is, it's a little bit harder for Trap to just box in TY.
Yeah.
And so he sends, for instance, that Marauder to the bottom. He wants to see if there's an expansion down there. He's trying to use as many mules as he can because he wants to power up. A fight is inbound. Trap is not maxed out, so he doesn't have the army that he could have in a little bit here.
Yeah, this is going to come down to positioning maneuvering very, very quickly now. A lot of Liberators moving out with this army. The Colossi are out, but actually Trap is walking too far back. I think that this is actually a mistake from him.
Yeah, he's giving Terran a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you see this coming out, one of the things you want to do is make them set up before they get to your base.
Those are flying siege tanks. Make them siege over and over.
He's just going to set up shop at the 3rd. This is smart.
Is he going to recall here? This might be his only chance. Oh, he can't now. It's too late. It's too late. That base is just gone.
Yeah. And this is actually pretty easy. By the way, TY expanding to the bottom here. So he's going to wipe this base out. Okay, is Trap actually coming down here to fight this? Hold on.
He can't fight it.
I don't know. Yeah,
there's no way on Earth. Like, he has 3 Tempests that are going to be popping out, and then he can fight it with a very slow push style. But right now, you can just pick up and go. This TY, it's like, all right, kill the base, sick. Move back, get your units together again.
Trap's actually expanding over towards the top center. A new base. We see the Marines and Marauders actually running by. Now, he may accidentally run into that base and just kill it. Oh, I guess not. Okay, he sees it now, though, so...
He should.
He should. Or not, you know?
Colossus are here.
We're getting too ahead of ourselves here at Tosis.
Okay, the Tempests are out. So TY is actually being a little bit greedy, trying to push into the natural now. But I think you probably want to turn around from here. He doesn't really have enough anti-air to kill the Tempest. In fact, it's almost only Marauders left over. It's kind of funny.
Okay, so this expansion is now finally under attack here. Colossi moving up, and it looks like should end up being saved. I mean, there's not a whole lot that TY can do until he really devotes more of his army up there. So we got the Ghosts coming out, a lot more barracks going down.
Yeah, this is nice. He's mixing in a Raven even at this point. Like,
yeah.
Now, here's the question. Do you go Vikings? He is actually adding a couple of Vikings. I said it once, I said it 1,000 times, man. You need the right amount of Vikings if you're going to make Vikings.
Yeah, and there really is an art to it, too. If you overmake them, then it doesn't really matter what's happening in the air because the ground fight's already over.
Yeah, and if you undermake them, what a waste.
Yeah.
So he is making like 3 to 4 Vikings at a time right now. Definitely they can be very, very useful. And, oh, that's +2 air weapons. All right, so that's pretty nice. That'll definitely help.
Okay. We see the Vikings now coming out here to try to drive back some of these Tempests. The Tempests are attempting to kite. Good Psy Storms coming down here. I do want to point out this is not... Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, stopping my... I do want to point out that this is not like a great place to try to push into.
No,
it's not. It's also not a base.
Yeah.
Like, I think Protoss might want to try to back up and attack somewhere else.
A little miss siege there. It's picked off easily. Well, from here, this becomes like a very weird game for either side to win, right? It comes down a lot to patience and positioning. Like,
okay.
Ooh.
Oh, get out of there!
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, this comes down to this situation where, like, if you over push into your opponent's army, both these guys are getting such insane armies with all the greatest upgrades, then you're going to lose so much. Nice little micro there.
Is this little force going to do it? You know what TY's doing, I think quite excellently, is he's dragging these Tempests and Colossi around the map, whether on foot or by recall. And in the moment that he sees, you know, weakness in one spot, he hits there. The moment that Trap has a defense there, then he runs for it. Now, Trap is pushing across the map and trying to pick a fight here. I don't know if he can push through this planetary wedge. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know that planetary area, like, you would have to kill every single Liberator to get through there. But he's actually walking around right now with most of his army. But he actually leaves his Tempest alone. The Viking's going to come up. The Stalkers come back, and TY does not want to pull the trigger there.
You can see TY trying to preemptively nuke that location, hoping that when Trap moved in there, the nuke would actually land on everything, which is pretty crazy.
Well, if you hit a nuke like that, it kills your army. Dude, you're Reddit famous for a whole day.
Oh, yeah. Now, Trap has actually done a pretty good push through here. He's wiped out these bases. He hasn't taken out anything in the bottom right triangle that TY controls, but, you know, it is a little bit easier, I think, right now for Protoss to keep expanding out, especially with the Colossi leaning on that location.
Well, like, both armies are a little bit slow, but TY has to siege. His is a little bit more positional, right? So the way that Trap continually dances around and tries to shave off things, I think it's awesome the way he's playing. Like, he had a couple bumpy things a little bit earlier, but this is really nice. And TY, I mean, these can be really good moves, like denying some mining, forcing the army back. And look, he's going to get into a sick position while the entire army of Trap goes to deal with like 2 Liberators.
Okay, he's come up here now. Now he's in like real hostile territory here, and nukes actually spread out on the map in the hopes they can get some of these armies.
Oh,
he's actually zoned out that army. It cannot come in here and save this base unless with a recall. Is he going to do that?
Dude.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Nukes on both sides. Yes. So sick, but was that the right call? These Vikings going to town after that anti-armor missile. He's going to take down all of the Tempests. Looks like the Colossus should fall as well.
The Tempest gone, the Colossi gone. I think it's going to be a lot easier for TY to remake his army, and it's going to be an army that's going to be a lot tougher here for him to do. The one thing TY could have honestly done better is had a third Ghost nuking at the Nexus where it's going to be recalled. That would have been like...
I just got chills. I just got chills.
Marry me.
Oh my god. Marry both of us.
That's right.
I'll be Tasis' sister husband, or brother husband, whatever you call that. look,
Sister Nerds or whatever.
That was sick, though. And TY can remake. Like, TY kept his Ravens live, a big chunk of Vikings, his Medivacs. So it's like the cheaper units that he gets to remake, whereas all the tech from Trap basically died. He has to remake his Tempest, remake his Colossus. Those things just increment out.
Okay. We have, again, Liberators just slowly ebbing away at the economy here of Trap. And Trap is actually picking some pretty questionable fights here, like trying to attack into this planetary.
This is desperation.
Yeah, this is.
And he's still got a big bank too.
Well, it's funny because also note he's not spending it yet. Okay, here we go. Big mineral and gas dump, but
just didn't.
Oh man, yeah,
that was a good choice actually. That canceled. Yeah. Oh, where's the storms? Oh, those storms have been so juicy.
I feel like we're seeing TY is actually quite a bit faster than Trap, which is saying a lot because Trap's honestly looked overall pretty good in this game, but TY is, you know, he's a little bit too on top of everything.
Actually, I'm going to look at the APM next time. Trap 700 against 250. Yep, okay. I trust that to be real APM. All right, so
but I mean, even beyond that, like every bit of that APM he's using is on stuff that's helping him.
No,
you know?
totally. The 250 is quite nice indeed. Yeah, okay, so this situation here, they're at very similar bank sizes, more gas for TY, but you're not using that much gas in the matchup. And then similar mineral banks, they're both about maxed out. Ooh, those high numbers are good.
Yeah, but the unload still happens. You know, if you look around the map, there's a lot of fights that I think Trap is eventually cleaning up, but not all these bases are mining. I mean, TY is actually at the point where you're not even supposed to be able to have this many bases in the matchup.
Yeah.
TY's become a Zerg player now.
Oh, God, he can't fight that. He needs splash damage. He has none.
I think this is actually GG here.
Oh, God.
He's the small number of Stargate Robo units have been picked off again. And this is like a point where every time this happens, the odds of Trap winning a game are getting lower and lower and lower. Yeah. And it's very easy for Terran to remake all these core units like Marines and Marauders and Vikings.
Man, his units are kind of all over the place right now. No splash damage to speak of.
Oh, the nuke might come down. He targets the Ghost and gets rid of it in the last second. Again, the Vikings are still winning the air fight.
And somehow, some way, Trap forcing this army back right now, but TY is macroing heavily behind this.
Yeah, well, TY just keeps getting bigger and bigger. You know, it really is funny how the two different army compositions work. I mean, in this case, because it's Immortals and it's a Tempest coming out, you know, every time you snipe that, it takes so long to remake the new ones. I mean, you can see, even if TY loses a chunk of his army, it's remade and it's usually at the right balance. Okay, we got more nukes coming down here now. Now, it looks like TY's waiting for the rest of his reinforcements to get here and nuking this area because he wants to try to fish out more of Trap's army and have a fight. He knows that nuke probably is not going to land, but he also knows the Stalkers have to come forward. And the Stalkers and Marines are going to do way too much damage. And there it is again. See, he takes out the Immortal. More stuff is coming up.
Yeah, making sure he's not even fighting in the range of the cannons. Trap continuing in desperation mode. He's just adding in some disruptors at this point. You got to get very lucky with these disruptors come back in a game like this, though.
TY is all over this map.
TY, like, one all in and then just solid pressure into a giant macro game. TY looking ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. Classic should be looking at this and saying, wow. Like, TY is not going to be a pushover in the winter match.
Ooh, I like the disruptor play. That's one way to actually deal with his position out here.
Yeah.
But he needs to get rid of both. Okay, the detonations were not exactly ideal. The nuke is actually going to land.
Really good nuke. Wow.
Ouchies.
Oh, nice Ice Storm there. Definitely some good zoning going on. 4 disruptors out right now. TY might have to back up and reinforce.
Yeah, see, the disruptors may be the only hope here, but as long as he can run back from it, then he buys more time again. Stalker's blinking in, Immortal's actually pushing down. I just don't quite believe this is enough.
No.
Again, you want to watch those Immortals, but every time he picks one up, that's a huge victory there for TY. TY almost doubling the supply now of Trap. I feel like this is a matter of time.
It certainly is. Like, Trap is just, he's rubbing 2 nickels together and trying to get a quarter at this point. Like, he had 4 disruptors. We've seen, like, 6-ish disruptor shots. They haven't connected well. You know, maybe that was an okay-ish one, but he needs insane value every single time. His income is still okay. It's just TY has so much going on, so many bases.
The only thing we can hope for is that Trap continues to barely hold up and TY mines out the entire map and doesn't trade efficiently from
There
here.
you go.
I mean, that's basically it.
That's it.
This is not even how we normally see a Terran win the game. You know, normally it's a little bit more even on bases, and the army gets so big, it's almost like TY is so good, he just keeps sucking up. He's like vacuuming up everything on the map.
Some good splitting by TY most of the time here against these disruptors. Just over time, look at this, grinding through the Liberators come up. That's it. GG.
There it is. Nicely done, TY. Clearly, when it comes to late game, very scary in that matchup. I thought it was going to be much closer. Trap honestly looked really good.
He did.
For, I would say about half of that game.
Yeah.
And that was also a super long TVP. I mean, every expansion was actually taken by the end. But you could see that TY has way more muscle in late game. He's able to get way more out. He won something like 20 little battles.
Yeah.
And even if Trap cleaned it up, it was lost time. You could have left and made a quick phone call for 5 minutes, come back in and said, "Whoa, TY's twice the size of Trap. What happened?" Well, it was 1,000 little cuts. Anyways, we're gonna go to a break. We come up next. Classic versus TY for our third best of 3 tonight. Stick around.
Say die.